What's up, guys? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's recap and review Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. This is season 14, episode 6. So, I got questions. Is Bose being Dorit's lapdog or lackey? Has she drunken Dorit Kool-Aid? Or is she really assessing the situation as what it is and coming up to her own conclusions about the lady, specifically Sutton? And then on the other hand, is Sutton being passive aggressive, calculated, and mean and vindictive towards the women when giving out her advice? Or is she giving good advice and because the women already don't really like her, they're taking it that way? It's questions rolling up in my mind, but we're going to talk about them, in the review. So let's get into the review. Sometimes before we get into it, we get a little spicy, just a little bit. And I just got two things to talk to y'all about. First up is Bose. So she posted this cryptic message. It was only like 17 seconds about like letting something go that she's been dealing with for a year. And a lot of people assume that she was either talking about leaving Real Housewives of Beverly Hills or her boyfriend. I think it's the latter, but let me play the video for you guys and y'all let me know your thoughts below.
After a lot of reflection and consideration, I've decided to quit something that has been a big part of my life over the past year. It hasn't been an easy decision, but I know it's the right one for me. So there's more to come.
So like I said, I think this has something to do with her boyfriend. I definitely don't think this has anything to do with the show because Bose has been very well received by the fans. And with her being on this show and being connected to Bravo, it's also giving her more visibility because I didn't even know who she was beforehand. And now I'm seeing her all up and down my timeline. She has a wig line that she's been promoting, as well as she was on CNN for New Year's celebrating in Ghana, doing the whole countdown. And that's never happened before. And she even shouted out Andy Cohen for like connecting her with the CNN and being able to do something like this. So I definitely don't think that she's quitting the show. At least I hope she's not. I hope she's not. I mean, I got mixed feelings about Bose, but I do want to see her on this show. I definitely hope she comes back for a season 2 because I feel like the contract is already drafted to give it to her, whether or not she do well at the reunion, because the people really like her and she feels like she should be here, in my opinion. So the next thing is, again, with Bose, I just want to say anybody that is being affected by the wildfires, my heart goes out to y'all. Like, the images coming out of California are terrifying. It reminds me of what happened in Tennessee and North Carolina 2 months ago, and watching people's homes just be washed away and hearing the devastation and like the fear in their voices just took me out. And now hearing it from the people in California and seeing people have to like go in to rescue their horses, people not leaving because they don't really have anywhere to go, hospitals being burned. It's horrible. And I really do hope all those that are affected are able to rebuild after this, because it's a lot. And then to know that this was caused by somebody irresponsibly not putting out a fire in their backyard correctly. And I hope they catch that person and they get fined. Low key, give them jail time, because all of this destruction, because that one mistake you made of being just irresponsible caused this much. Like, I hate it. I hate it. Like, seeing people lose everything. And I think also last time I saw an article about it, they said like 5 people have lost their lives. Dang. Like, I really do hope if anybody comes across this video and you're from California, your family's dealing with this, I really do hope y'all are safe. If you could evacuate, I hope you're safe. If you can't, I hope you're safe, because I know it's not that easy for people to evacuate, but I hate this. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And climate change is real and we got to start taking it seriously. But it looks like, unfortunately, Bose lost one of her homes, and this was supposed to be like her forever home. So maybe she was going to move there, because I don't think it's the house that's being featured on Beverly Hills. But let me read what she posted to Instagram today. So this is what Bose had to say. This is the house I wanted, the house I prayed for, the house I worked in blood, sweat, and tears for. The house that I put keypad instead of a keyhole in front of the door because I wanted my family and friends to have a code to use the house whenever they wanted. This is the house where I found peace after battling with racist neighbors and a community that made me have to buy it in a trust within a trust so no one would know that a widowed single black woman with a teenager was buying on an exclusive hill beach. This was at my FU I'm Here house, the house that I built a movie room dedicated to my sister so she could see her films in her own sanctuary. This is the house where I finally felt like I could choose to spend my time when I wanted to and how I wanted to. It is gone. This is an unimaginable loss. I grieve with the rest of Los Angeles as it burns. And even though I found every word to write here, there's nothing that I could say in this moment to describe the feeling. I ask for your prayers for, I think her daughter's name is Layla or Layer. And God bless you. That sucks. Yeah, that sucks. Oh, that sucks, bro. I hate it. I hate seeing people lose. Like, it's just in that instance, everything's just gone. Like, I hate that for her. Ugh. But let's get into this review. Okay, y'all, so let's talk about it. So the episode opens up and we see Bose on a date with her boyfriend, Keely. We heard about Keely when they went on that seaside, like, weekend vacation on the yacht. And she basically lets it be known that she really likes Keely. Remember, her and Keely got together because Bose knew his nephew or was working with his nephew. And then he introduced her to Keely. And she says, they have like a long distance relationship. They live in the same state, but he lives in San Diego and we know she lives where she lives. Now, mind you, when she said that, I rolled my eyes. I'm not even gonna lie. But then I thought about it and I was like, well, as big as California is, and then as horrible as the traffic is, it's a long distance relationship. So she says they consistently talk every single day, and she really likes the consistency that he gives to her. Like, her last relationship was full of lies and the person was cheating on her and she should have swore off men. But then when she met Keely and how honest he was, it gave her faith and hope, like believing in a relationship again. So she really likes him. They're sitting down on the beach, he's feeding her strawberries and they're talking and flirting, and then she brings up marriage. So I guess Bose likes him that much to actually like want to be in that type of relationship with him, because she ends up being like, do you date just to date or do you date for marriage? And he was like, yeah, I'm only dating for marriage. And so then Bose was like, so what is this? And he kind of laughed and was like, oh no, like, we move into that direction. So she's really feeling him. One thing I will say is Bose makes too much money for these wigs. I'm sorry. Her wigs remind me of Candace's wigs when we first met her season 3. It's so many bundles on the wig cap. And I'm like, girl, you need to take out about at least 4 or 5 tracks. On top of that, I don't understand why she does not have like a hairline. And the way that wind was pushing it back, just pushing her hair back. And I said, Bose, you make too much money, ma'am. I know for a fact that you could get somebody to make you some quality wigs. And I'm not saying the wigs aren't quality. It's like they're too thick and they have like a hairline. Nobody's hairline is straightly a U shape. Like, there's waves and jagged edges, and I hate them. But this was a cute scene. The next scene we get is with Garcelle and her family, and I thought the scene was actually really sweet. You have one of the twins, he brought his girlfriend. Remember, the other twin decided he no longer wanted to film because of the bullying he was receiving. We see her there with her grandson, OJ, and then her oldest son, Oliver. And the kids are coming to the beach house, and they're so like, oh my gosh, mom, like, this is wonderful. And just really proud of her. And I know that meant a lot to her. And, she just gets emotional in the confessional, talking about, never would I have thought I would be able to accomplish this, build this beach house, have my career in the entertainment entertainment industry, be an executive producer, and my kids be all okay at once. Like, she's just grateful. So they're sitting down having dinner, and then that's when Garcelle starts talking about her relationship with Oliver and how it's been an up and down roller coaster. And I had totally forgot that when Garcelle was first introduced to us on the show, that she shared that Oliver had bouts with addiction. I had totally forgot that. But basically, she ends up sharing, there was one point in time where Oliver was really, he was going through it, okay? The throes of addiction had its grasp on him, and she had to kick him out of the house. And she talks about how it was one night he came to the house, like banging on the door, telling her to let him in. And like she turned on the light. There was a girlfriend at her house with her. And they were like, Oliver, you can't come in. And she was like freaking out because she didn't know what to do. He was like trying to get into the house. He tried to get into, I guess she had like a spare, like a pool house, trying to get into there. And she wouldn't let him do it. And she was just like, do I call? I think her ex-husband's name is like Mark or Mike or something. But she was like, well, Mike has the boys. And she was just like, I don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do. And she was like, all she could do was just hope and pray that he would get better. And it happened. But she was like, she thinks ultimately tough love is what brought him back, is because when he showed up to her house, she was just like, it was Oliver, but it wasn't Oliver. Like physically it was Oliver, but like that was not my son, pretty much. Like he probably was high. And she was just like, no. And she's just happy. She was like, thank God for OJ, his son, because she was like, she don't think he would have came back from that had there not been, someone there for him. And I don't know. I was actually surprised by the reactions to her telling her story, because we have Mary Crosby showcasing her son, and he be high as a kite, okay? And everyone's being all sympathetic and like empathetic and understanding to Mary's plight. But Garcelle sharing this story about Oliver, and it was like, ugh, Garcelle, shut up, from some of the fans online. And I was like, dang, like y'all really don't like that lady. And am I the biggest Garcelle fan? No, but like there's definitely a double standard, especially when it comes to Black housewives when they're on a white cast with fans. It's either everyone likes them or it's the polar opposite, and you got a lot of people showing they slip of racism, okay? And I was just kind of like, dang. She's just showcasing her story the same way Mary's sharing hers. And we're hoping that Mary's story ends like Garcelle's, with a positive outcome of her son being able to live his life and keep moving forward. I was just surprised that everybody was mad at her for that. I was like, the lady's just sharing her story. Let her share the story. We have is with Dorit and Erica meeting up for lunch. We find out that Dorit's parents are in town and helping her out with her kids. She's extremely grateful to them because she's been overwhelmed with the whole separation with PK. We find out that Phoenix is a ballerina and doing very well. I also saw a clip of her singing. She's a pretty talented kid. So then Erica's like, okay, so what about you and PK? And Dorit's like, she's a little nervous and anxious because her and PK have a therapy session coming up, and she's just like, girl, I don't know what's about to come out of this. And so then she's like, because they do a flashback to when we saw Dorit and PK meet up, and it was about how, PK said, yo, we used to talk to each other nasty. Like the way we talk to each other is not the right way to go. And so then Dorit explains that like he was telling the truth, and PK would be nasty to her, and so she would be nasty back, and vice versa. So she's hoping for some type of resolve, but also she's not willing to like give up on her relationship just yet. So then Erica giddily like is happy to talk about how Dorit was packing up Camille at the last event they had all together, about the whole see you next Tuesday situation. And Erica is like, oh my God, girl, you ate her up. And then they talk about Sutton. So then they're saying like Sutton has a pattern of kicking people when they're down at their lowest. And they're both like, they're sick of Sutton and her behavior. They also don't believe her whole sisterhood situation. And my thing about it is Sutton shouldn't have led with the sisterhood situation, because it's like, these women don't like you. I wish Sutton would wake up and realize none of these women really see it for you other than Garcelle and Jennifer Tilly. because those are the women you were able to be create friendships with. But everybody else on this cast has an issue with you. Even Bose is already giving you energy that she don't really see it for you, and y'all don't even really know each other like that. And I just think Sutton, when after, like someone said online, after Sutton threw that whole temper tantrum with Thunder Down Under in Las Vegas, there was no way she could be like the glue or be the one leading the charge of sisterhood, because she couldn't even be honest in that moment why she felt the way that she felt. And she made herself look bad. But I feel like Erica and Dorit are reaching with this whole like Sutton kicks you when you're at your lowest. I think Sutton means well when she's out here giving out help and things of that nature. But I think the way that she responds to when people, what's the word, challenge her is where she falters, because she's always like yelling or spazzing out, and it's like you make yourself look crazy when you might definitely be in the right, but your reaction to it makes you look off. And they don't like you, so they're gonna take that and run with it. Because Erica talking about like she kicked me at my lowest. No, she didn't. She asked you very real and honest questions about your situation that you were lying to the ladies about, and you were super duper defensive and nasty to people. Like your therapist said last time, your divorce wasn't clean. So why would you think anybody would support you when you weren't being honest about what you had going on yourself? You were being insensitive to the victims that your husband scammed. You were being sued because they said that you probably knew about what was going on. And then you just expected people to help you out and tarnish their own like reputation and character to be friends with you, and you not giving them anything in return. Girl, miss me with that, Erica. When it comes to Sutton kicking Kyle down, I don't even think she did that. I think Sutton was also asking questions that everybody wanted to know. What's up with you and Dorit? Are you and Mauricio getting a divorce, girl? Because you acting funny. You acting weird. Like, what's really tea about this situation? And even with Dorit. Now, do I think Sutton making that comment about, like, you're not mad at me, you're mad at your life? That was disrespectful to make. But I don't think she was wrong. Dorit, since episode 1, has been really going at everybody that challenges her. And yet, everyone's okay with that because it's pointed at somebody that majority of the fan base doesn't like, which is Kyle. It is what it is at this point. The next thing we have is of Erica at her home with this world famous interior designer. I think his name is Martin Lawrence, but he has like a website and a book, and he's done people's homes like Cher, Khloe Kardashian, and like Pink and several other people. And when they did like an overview of Erica's home, I said, girl, this is a nice house for a single lady. Like, you have this really nice size pool, a beautiful cabana in the back. It's like 3 or 4 I think it's only like 3 bedrooms. Maybe it was 4 bedrooms and a little bit more space. It would be a lot better because of all the stuff Erica has accumulated when it comes to like her glam and everything. But I was just like, girl, you have a nice, good bones house. But you can tell that Erica doesn't like where she stays, but this is probably all she can afford for right now. And I get it. She went from that huge mansion with probably like 17 rooms, a chapel, a ginormous closet, a huge pool, to this. But I was looking at it like, girl, if this was my house, it'd be lit. Okay, the little parties that I would be having with me and my friends, we would have pool parties, having barbecues. I'd be outside smoking a little something in the cabana. Like I was like, oh, I could have vibed in this house, okay? So I guess it's just all in perspective. Granted, I've never lived in a mansion, so I understand like downsizing to that degree is crazy. But I just feel like Erica is still angry and bitter about her situation. And I don't think bitter is such a bad word in terms, because that's how some people genuinely feel, and sometimes you just have to acknowledge your feelings. But I think I get irritated with Erica because she likes to harp on Sutton so much, when I'm like, that lady was there for you, just not in the capacity that you would have liked. But to act like Sutton was the only person that was like questioning you that season is crazy to me, when everybody was questioning you except Lisa Rinna. But you still have this hard on for Sutton. And I'm wondering if it's because Sutton got well off in her divorce, where she's getting $30K a month and she's still able to live her lavish lifestyle beyond being attached to her ex-husband. you know? So I don't know. Hopefully we'll get to see the end result, because I do want to see what he's going to do, because I do feel like he's going to make her house like fabulous. Because really, when they were scanning Erica's house, I said, girl, you could make this cute. Like, this could be a cute house if you really like put in the work. And I'm just like, girl, I want to see the end result. We see is Bose and Dorit hanging out. Bose comes over to Dorit's house. She meets the kids. She meets the parents. They sit beside the pool. Dorit is like looking over her shoulder, trying to make sure that none of her kids are watching them, because she's like, they still don't know that me and their father are, separated. So Bose ends up asking Dorit, so how is that going? And Dorit ends up being like, well, we did not mediation, therapy for 4 hours. And Bose is like, 4 hours? I said, girl, 4 hours? Okay, couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. So she says, while in the therapy session, PK ends up getting angry and being like, and this is why I want a divorce from you, and this is why I don't want to be with you anymore, and storms out of the therapy session, slamming the door. And it took Dorit by surprise. She ends up being like, this made me feel like, oh my gosh, like, he's unpredictable. I don't know what type of energy and our type of time he's gonna be on. So now I need to cover myself and be prepared for everything. So basically Sutton was right. Okay. And so she's just like, yeah, like, I was blindsided by his behavior. So then Bose is like, oh my God, girl, like, he really did all of that? And she's like, yeah. So then Bose brings up about what happened at Kyle's party, about Camille being there. Now, here's where Dorit's gonna start getting on my nerves, because she's gonna take everything that Kyle does as a slight. Now, do I think Kyle is calculated? Yeah, as a Capricorn myself, and her being one, the calculations are there. But in this moment, to try to act like Kyle purposely brought Camille there to fight with Dorit, I feel like it's a reach. Like, do I feel like Dorit and Camille got issues? Most definitely. But Kyle has known Camille a lot longer than she's known Dorit. And Camille has been around consistently, like, since she's been off the show. So for Dorit to be like, Kyle purposely invited that lady there to start beef is weird to me. Like, did she probably invite that lady because, she know y'all got history and y'all don't like each other? Yeah, but I don't think she brought her there just to beef with you. I think that's the reach. So then Bose brings up Sutton, where she's like, I was really offended by what Sutton said to you about, you're not mad at me, you're mad at your life. She was like, oh, that was just nasty. And so Dorit's like, see, that's who Sutton really is. That's the pattern of behavior. And it's interesting because on one hand, I feel like Bose is smart enough to like assess a situation and determine whether or not she want to be cool with somebody. But on the other hand, it is given that she's drinking the Dorit Kool-Aid, because it's kind of like, why are you so readily like, what's your issue with Sutton? Because it feels like Bose already has an issue with Sutton, and she's already like hella defensive towards the lady. And I'm like, we don't know if something happened behind the scenes, because it's kind of weird that like Bose was introduced to us by way of Sutton, and that doesn't mean that they're friends. But it's like, it seems like they had some type of like surface level of relationship, but now Bose is just like, yeah, I don't like that. I don't know if I'm gonna like her, pretty much. So like Jennifer Tilly said, it's giving a very prickly energy from Bose towards Sutton. And we end up seeing Sutton when everyone's getting ready for the GLAAD event where Erica is doing her single release parties for Domino's. Jennifer Tilly and Sutton are in the car, and Sutton is like, she doesn't like the fact that Bose said that she weaponized Dorit's like trauma against her. And she's like, I don't know if Dorit is telling her stuff about me and Bose is just like accepting it, but I don't get her energy towards me. And Jennifer Tilly's in the car like, yeah, it is giving kind of like a prickly energy. Like, she don't really see it for you, sis. She don't see it. The GLAAD event. And we see everybody getting ready. Like I said, Jennifer Tilly and Sutton are riding in the car together. It's honoring, I don't know if they were honoring Erica or Erica was doing her her single release party at a GLAAD event. I think that's what it was. I don't think they were honoring her, but she has this really nice, her outfit, I loved it. It was like straps and leather tying up and all of that stuff. And so everyone gets to the event. Naomi Smalls was there. Shouts out to the RHOBH girls. Love me some Drag Race. And, they play the single. It's cute. Jennifer Tilly had me tickled. When I tell you, she had me tickled when she was like, Domino. I don't think it's gonna win any awards, but it's cute. I screamed. I said, Jennifer. So while at the party, we end up seeing this conversation between Sutton and Bose, where Sutton ends up telling Bose that she didn't like the fact that she said that she used the words weaponized, that like she weaponized something against Dorit. And Bose basically tells Sutton, you did that. You took her trauma and then you threw it in her face. And Sutton's like, no, like I wasn't trying to do that. That was not my intent. And Bose is like, well, but you still hurt her. And so Sutton was just like, well, and then I think Bose was like, well, I get that you were angry. And Sutton was like, no, I wasn't angry. I was defending myself, you know? And so then things shifted where Sutton is saying, you know, like, I know you're really articulate. A lot of people felt like that was a microaggression from Sutton. It was two ways for me. On one hand, I was like, yeah, I could definitely see that. I could definitely see it being condescending and a microaggression. On the other hand, I felt like more so it was just her trying to point at like, girl, I know you're a smart girl, and you know for a fact that's like, I feel like you know that's not what I was trying to do. But the optics don't look very well for Sutton. They really don't. The same way they told Dorit when she told Garcelle, like, you're attacking me, didn't look well for Dorit. This don't look well for Sutton. So, you know, they kind of like eerily laugh about it. And Sutton is like, you know, I have a big vocabulary and I'm trying to like use it and all of that stuff. And that's when Bose ends up telling Sutton, like, yes, you are very smart and articulate, and that's what makes you so dangerous. And Sutton said, I'm not dangerous. And so in the confessional, Bose ends up saying, like, Sutton has this really, like, she can be fun and cool, but then she has this side that either you think she's delusional or she's mean and calculated. Like, will the real Slim Sutton stand up? And here's the thing where I'm like differing with Bose, and maybe it's because I'm putting on what we've been seeing, the way that women have treated Sutton in the past. They've been real nasty to her, and I feel like she's standing up for herself. But I guess for somebody that's new in the group, it does come off mean and calculated, because I don't think she's mean and calculated. Do I think Sutton puts her foot in her mouth at times? And yeah, I definitely do. There's times where I'm like, Sutton, shut up. You didn't need to speak. You could have kept that thought. That's an inside thought. But I don't know if I would say that she's mean and calculated. And maybe it's just because I know the history and the way that I felt like the way the ladies have treated her, and Bose doesn't. But I also feel like, okay, Bose does have a right to assess a situation and feel like, nah, and she's older than me, so maybe she's seen this behavior before and she's just peeping it for what it is. But as a viewer, I don't see that part when it comes to Sutton. So Bose basically says, like, Sutton don't want to strike first with me. She just don't want to do it because that would be her downfall. And a lot of people are wondering if we're going to see Sutton and Bose go back and forth. I definitely feel like at the reunion, there's going to be some back and forth, because it seems like Bose is definitely ready for whatever Sutton going to give her. Erica's on the stage singing Dominoes. We falling like dominoes. She comes, sits down with the ladies. All of the women congratulate her. And then Dorit kicks off the mess. So they're sitting at the table, and Dorit basically asks Kyle, girl, you know, PK is being a little unpredictable right now, and I'm trying to understand some things. Like, have you texted him? Like, and the thing about it is, like, Dorit she really did do a good job setting up this scene, because before the ladies even came to the Viper room for the Glad event, we see Erica, you know, getting ready for the event, and so is Dorit, and they're on FaceTime together, and Dorit ends up being like, you know, do you know if Kyle talks to PK? And Erica's like, no, I don't. She was like, I'm feeling like they might still talk to each other, because, you know, they normally used to send memes and all of this stuff back and forth to one another, but like, I need to understand what's going on. And so Dorit's trying to hide it behind, you know, PK wants to know everything going on with my life, and I bet you know, he's reaching out to Kyle to understand that information, but he won't tell me nothing. So I need to know if Kyle is speaking to this man. So Erica, being giddy that this is happening, all of a sudden is like, now kind of like, oh no, this is going to happen now. Girl, you told her to address it when y'all were on the FaceTime together before the event. So Dorit is addressing it. So Dorit pretty much is like, so Kyle, I know you and him have a friendship and y'all share memes and jokes back and forth, but have you done it recently? So Kyle trying to play stupid, like, I mean, in a couple, like, in a few, yeah, we have, like, I mean, like a week ago, but that's all we do is show each other memes. And she was like, do you think that's okay? And Kyle's like, it's just memes back and forth. Like, I think it's fine. Like, like, what you mean? And so, Dorit says in her confessional, if I was sending memes back and forth to Mauricio, even though Kyle and him are not okay and we're not okay, she would have an issue with it and she wouldn't be trying to play stupid. So now Kyle's getting frustrated because she's like, girl, it's just memes, it's nothing else. And I'm definitely a girl's girl. Like, if I had to pick a side, even though we're not cool, I would still pick your side. So don't even do that with me right here. So then I think Garcelle ends up asking the table, like, would you be okay with that? Like, would you be okay with your partner asking anybody? Would you be okay with one of us still talking to your partner while y'all are like going through a divorce or not in a good place? And Erica said, I ain't never done that. Bose ends up being like, no, I wouldn't be cool with it. I would think you're breaking girl code. And then she asks Jennifer Tilly, and Jennifer Tilly said, no, ma'am. And then we see Sutton being like, yeah, like if my friend was doing something like that, like I would be totally against it. Like I would not be for it. So then Garcelle ends up asking her, so why are you and PK not really in a good place? Because that's the main reason why Dorita's upset, because she's like, Kyle, you know me and this man are not in a good place, and you and I are not in a good place. Why do you think it's okay to still talk to my husband? And so Dorita ends up being like, it's the communication. Like, we're not really being, like, he's not communicating with me, and we got kids, and we're trying to shield them. So then Sutton just is like offhandedly says, well, you can't shield the kids forever. And Dorita ends up taking it like very personally. Then Dorit is like, when did I say I was going to shield my kids forever? So then Sutton is like, don't get mad at me. Like, I was just saying. And so then Garcelle in her confessional is like, girl, leave the children out of this. Don't say nothing about them kids. Leave the children out of it. And you can tell that Erica was like, oh, here it come. Like, it's about to go down. So then Sutton is like, well, I was just saying, like I told you on the yacht, where you can lean on me. Like, I'm just saying, like, you can't do that forever. So then I think that's when Dorit is like, basically Dorit said, girl, your actions don't show me that I can lean on you. And then Sutton got mad and was like, Dorit, what have I ever done to you? Like, what have I ever done to you? For real, what have I ever done to you? And she was just, and so then Dorit kind of looks at her, and I think that's the issue with Sutton, is she spazzes out and she makes herself look crazy. If she would have just said calmly, what have I ever done to you for you to think that I wouldn't be there for you? If what happened the other night is that, if that's the only thing, then are you serious? Because then Dorit ends up being like, well, why would I want help from somebody that's kicking me when I'm down? And so then Sutton is like, I'm just like, I've been where you've been at. I wasn't kicking you when you were down. And I feel like Sutton has to take accountability. Like, yeah, girl, even though you don't think you were doing that, that's what she took it as. And it's always like impact versus intention. She felt like you were kicking her when she was down. So you should just apologize and move forward. So then Sutton just gets mad and she's just like, you know what, Dorit, we not friends. We not friends. It is what it is. And I'm like, Sutton, keep that same energy. Y'all are not friends. Don't give that lady no help. When everything falls apart, let her drown. Because you've been trying to extend yourself. But again, these women don't like you. So y'all are not friends. Just be cordial. Just be cordial. So then Sutton is like, okay, all right. And then Dorit's like, yeah, we're not friends. So she's like, I bet. And she's like, here's a drink to cordiality or whatever. And they kind of move on. So then Eric, and that's the other thing, Erica chimes in like, Erica, we get it, you don't like Sutton and you still holding a grudge, but get over it. Okay? Because I was like, why are you chiming in? So then she was like, you know what, talk to your real friend, talk to your friend right here. So then Kyle and Dorit start going back and forth, where Kyle's like, you know what, girl, I won't talk to the man anymore. I won't talk to him anymore. I'm done. It's whatever. So she's like, girl, I'm done. So then Dorit's like, what do you mean you done? Be clear. And then Kyle's like, I am being clear. I'm done. Like, I've apologized to you. I told you I'm not going to talk to that man anymore. What more do you want from me? And the veins on her forehead are popping out like Erica Mena. And so then Dorit's like, I want you to stop yelling at me with your veins popping out of your head. And it's crazy because Dorit has yelled at everybody at this point. She yelled at Sutton's surrealist party. She yelled on the Sprinter with Sutton. They yelled at that first dinner when they were when they were down at the ocean side. So I don't think she's anybody to tell anybody, like, you can't yell at me. Girl, you've been yelling, so I'm going to yell too. But in this regard, I'm on Dorit's side. Like, girl, don't talk to my man when you know we not cool and he not cool with me. Because you would be pissed if they was talking to Mauricio. So then things get real heated because Kyle feels like Dorit is trying to paint her in a negative light. She was like, we left Oceanside in a better like place, and now you trying to make me look bad in front of everybody. Yeah, girl, I'm done with you. And so then things get real heated, and then Dorit starts lunging forward across the table, and Son's like, whoa, 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 like, no, no, no. And then Kyle starts doing it too, and then it goes to be continued. They already released the preview for next season, not next season, but next episode. Ain't no fight happen. Ain't no glass fail. It was Erica pushing Dorit back, like, no, 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 let's not do this. I said, y'all could have just played that whole scene out. Y'all, that was the end of the episode. I'm wondering what's going to be next for Beverly Hills, because if you haven't realized it yet, all of the explosive scenes that we saw in the super trailer, they've already happened. Kyle and Dorit yelling at each other in the Viper room, the surrealist party argument, Dorit and Sutton getting into it. What's it called? Dorit and Kyle arguing when they went on, the first cash trip. Like, there's no other explosive scenes happening. So I don't know what else to expect from this. But we gonna still be here. So yeah, y'all. So that is it. That is all. As always, remember to be bravely authentic, and definitely hop down in the comments below. Share your thoughts with me, and give me a thumbs up if you liked the video, and subscribe if you liked the video. And I'm out, y'all. Deuces.